Yeah, we've been in business since 2013.
Okay.
But recent events, we're trying to change to sole proprietor for myself or LLC.
Okay.
And it's just the process of becoming an LLC is kind of confusing to me. I was doing some research on it this morning, and it's not the first time, but the publication thing, that's the one that really...
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand. So you file a name, you get the name, and then you have to be published in 5 newspapers within 90 days or something like that.
It's 2 newspapers within 6 months over, I believe it's 6 weeks, and it's one of the newspapers has to be daily and the other one has to be weekly.
I really would love to understand the why behind that. I know, and I don't know what that process
I can
is
answer
like,
that question. The newspaper industry is unwilling to let that go because they make money on it.
Of course.
And it's a great question. Nobody really knows why there's the publication requirement.
Yeah.
And nobody pays attention to it, nobody reads it.
It makes you so much more official.
So, but the incorporations don't have this requirement.
Which ones?
The INCs, the regular corporations. So Mike and Caitlin, you're a DBA partnership? Is that what you are?
Currently, yeah. We're literally going to go turn into a sole proprietor after this meeting.
Oh, wait, so you're splitting off?
We're still working together.
Yes. But you want to keep your...
Only because I've been financially backing everything.
Right.
Okay.
I've been providing
It's-
technical support and working and services and stuff,
Yeah.
but he's the brain and funds behind
Yeah.
things.
Okay.
So it's easier to have him just be that person and I just kind of work for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so are
We
you...
kind of just collaborate.
Yeah.
So you're going to work for him or become your own sole proprietorship?
For this business that we're doing, I'll work for him.
Okay. So you're going to have employees?
She's not going to work for me as an employee.
Okay, so you're going to...
We're literally just going to work collaboratively on
Right.
recording music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay her as a contractor?
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And love and
Pizza.
I'm just very nosy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason we went into a partnership is because I thought I had to pay her as an employee if she worked with me, but then I found out that an employee is really if you tell them to be there from 5 to 9.
Yeah,
whatever.
you do have to be very careful with the contractor rules. You should be able to find them online with the IRS. Just be very careful about making sure that she's not an employee.
Right.
And what you're doing is, what's your business focused on?
It's multimedia entertainment
Okay.
in a nutshell.
And then you're contracting her to do...
work with audio,
Okay.
creative development stuff.
Okay, it sounds like you're probably okay from the contracting position rather than employment, but just go find those rules on the IRS, print them up and look at them every couple of weeks, honestly, because that's where you can get really hammered from, either New York State, because you're not paying the unemployment insurance and all the workers' comp insurances.
Right.
And also the IRS.
Why did you say to look at them every few weeks?
Just to
remember
remember
everything.
Because if the circumstances change between
Okay.
them,
If it bleeds over into being
Right.
an employee situation.
And
or
the
whatever,
thing
which
is,
it's not.
from the standpoint of an LLC or an incorporation, hiring somebody isn't actually that big of a deal. You will have to pay unemployment insurance. It's not all that much. You'll have to pay a little bit of workers' comp. It's not a lot of money. There are people out there. We use Allen Street Consulting. They'll help you set up payroll and everything. It is an added cost. So if you're, right at the margins, then
I am 18,000 in the hole. I'm nowhere.
if you're underneath the margins, then that can be difficult. But if at some point you need to cross over the boundaries of one of those requirements, then
Maybe after this year, possibly.
yeah.
I would
So
love to pay employees.
Right.
I love to
right.
have a family of people and I could just
Right.
give money to all the time.
Yeah. But it's something to consider because they can
penalize you.
Yeah, put the hammer down on you pretty good.
And you might be SOL.
Yeah. And so, okay, so you're dissolving your DBA partnership, just doing a regular DBA sole proprietorship,
Right.
and then possibly converting to an LLC.
Possibly, if the benefits seem to be there. I don't really know exactly. That's the part where it's kind of wishy-washy.
I'm a huge advocate of an LLC, and the reason is that most of your liability goes into the LLC. So I'm not sure where you're working. Are you working from home? Okay, well, let's say if you're working from home.
Yeah, working from home.
Yeah, if you're working from home and you have deliveries, somebody comes and the UPS person delivers something and slips and falls, and then the lawsuit's against you personally. If something like that happens but you have an LLC, the lawsuit's against the LLC. There usually is business insurance because that's another expense. And then the business owner's policy would pay for that, and then you just kind of walk away from it. There are a lot of tax benefits to forming an LLC. Everything that is a business expense while you're working, your 25 cups of coffee, your donuts while you're working, snacks, all kinds of office supplies, computers, your internet, your phone, all those things are business expenses, and they go through the LLC as an expense. So if you bring in all kinds of money and it's going out as an expense, then you're not paying taxes on it. Whereas if you're an individual, if you're really, really good about keeping track of your records, then it's the same thing. It's still an expense, but it can be very beneficial for that LLC. There is the upfront cost. The LLC is going to cost you some money, and you mentioned the publication requirements. There are ways to do those where it's not super expensive. And then I always recommend business owners policies. It's about $500 for a year, and that just covers something weird that happens. So if there's something really, really weird that happens, that's not going to be covered, but just a delivery person, or if you've got a client coming into your studio and they fall, you never know. So I'm a huge advocate of forming some type of entity, either LLC or an INC corporation. The DBA at the county level is not truly a separate entity, so that doesn't protect you from the standpoint of liability. Another thing is the LLC can, and we never want to talk about this, but the LLC or the incorporation can just declare bankruptcy. I'm not making any money, this is just not going anywhere, and then the LLC goes into bankruptcy, they discharge all their debts, and then you just walk away from it. Nobody ever wants to do that, but this is what attorneys do. It's called the parade of horribles.
A parade of horribles?
Yeah, that's what we do in our head. We think about everything that could go wrong. Related, there's a staggering number of depression in our career too. But that's what we do. So, and the idea is you go through the things that could happen and you guard against them.